Honey, I just got to start off by saying, Tina, bring me the axe. Yes, honey. So today, as promised in the last video, I'm going to do Mommy Dearest Child. Everything looks so dark because I got these damn. I'm like, why is everything so dark? Because I got the glasses on. So don't forget, we still finishing up. It's like, look at this. It's almost done. Slowly but surely, we will win this race of this arts and crafts. I got more. Okay, of course I didn't light the candles yet. And so I'm gonna light some candles because again, I love the smell of them. I like just having them, and it gives extra light. I don't know if anybody else likes them, but I definitely do. So, Mommy Dearest Child. Oof, oof, oof. It is a movie. It is a gag. It is a cult classic. It is something, honey. And it's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy is what it is. That they thought this thing was gonna win an Oscar, honey. They just said to themselves, oh, get it. This is gonna win an Oscar right here, girl. Give it everything you got. It did not give what they thought it was gonna give. But it did give us a lot of insight into Hollywood. Like, let's talk about what it did give. It gave us a lot of insight into Hollywood, like real Hollywood. Like, I want to say Christina was one of the first Hollywood children to actually write a book exposing, like, she was a pioneer in exposing the parent child. She was a pioneer. So it did give us insight into, like, for real, what was going on in Hollywood, besides, like actors and actresses writing their memoirs or biographies or, or autobiographies, I should say. It gave a lot of insight. So there's that. It kind of got the conversation going about child abuse. It really did. Because my God, that woman, it was a lot. It was a lot going on. It also got people thinking about who Joan Crawford was, because one of her biggest rivals, Betty Davis, she, even though they beefed them two ladies beefed, honey. What's beef? Beef is when your kids ain't safe up in the street. Okay? Beef is when Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, be fighting. That's beef. So, they were beefing, but Betty Davis came to Joan Crawford's she took her side in the whole Mommy Dearest Christina Crawford vice Joan Crawford situation. She was like, no, I'm here for Joan, even though I don't even like her. So it brought up a lot of things going on. If you watch, and of course, because I'm a nerd for, like, if I like you, I want to know everything about you. And sometimes in that I stop liking people. So be careful. What they say, be careful meeting your phase, because you sometimes are disappointed. This is a true statement, honey. I didn't say the saying right, but you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you meet your idols and they're not who you think they are. Like, you've projected something onto them and they're not who you think they are. And some people I've let go. I'm like, no, you as a person, you're too much. And others I've hung on to. So when I'm a fan, I'm a whole fan. So I go into the background. So Christina did many interviews, and she said that some stars were like, I'm sorry that happened to you. Other people were like, well, you got to understand your mom. And we're going to get into that. Like, they'll tell her, she says, like, forgive your mom, or don't take it like that, or, And we'll get into that because everyone has a different perspective on, people they know, things of that nature. So anyway, let's talk about this movie. So, Mommy Dearest, based on a book, and I think I said in the last one, I happened to read this book when I was way younger, probably before I was probably a preteen when I read this book. Because it was left at my grandmother's house and she only had Bibles. She didn't do secular or anything. And so, you know, the only time I would get to read stuff would be if I got it from the library, which she took me to the library, or if my auntie left it, or somebody who was visiting left it. But mostly it'd be my auntie. And so she left the book there and I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. These people are like, this is crazy. Who would have thought Joan Crawford? Like the lady from What Happened to Lady Jane? Her? Wow. So, you know, I read the book and I was like, oh my God. And on the book, it said, what the 1981 film is based off of. And I'm like, there's a film. And boy, oh boy, is there. So this is based off the book by Christina Crawford. The film came out in 1981. I don't know when the book. Let me see. I got my whatchamacallit. Okay, the book came out in 1978. Um so the book came out in 1978. Somebody picked it up and read it and said to themselves, girl, we need to make a movie and it's gonna make an Oscar. It didn't make the Oscar. There was no Oscar. There was no, it got I think Razzies. I think it got Razzies. No Oscar though. So we're gonna go over this movie. So it starts off with Joan doing her face routine. And baby, if that face routine, like Joan, honey, she was scrubbing her arms. You would have thought she was going into surgery. She was scrubbing her face. There was hot scalding water and cold ice water. And girl, she was here for getting her face together. And that face was gotten together. Okay. Now, I think the reason why, because I was like, why are we just showing this? This is crazy. But I guess it was to show that she had like OCD, because she really did have OCD. And they show it all throughout this film. Again, I always say it, please go see the film. Oh, I'm supposed to be, and here we go. And I always say it, please do your arts and crafts. And I'm not doing them. I'm a hypocrite. Anyway, so Joan is doing her routine, honey. She got a hell of a routine. And, then it slides to her with the housekeeper and the maids, and she is not happy with the way they're cleaning. Even though the house was spotless, she was pushing things out the way. She's like, no, 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 no. Let me teach you how to Dougie. Let me teach you how to Dougie. Oh no, I think the blue dried. Guess it's a different color. So she was like, let me show you how to Dougie, honey. And them people had to, okay, I think all my colors dried. I guess if you get this, use them within a reasonable time. Otherwise, they dry. So I guess I won't be doing arts and crafts today because I need to undry this. Make sure y'all doing y'all arts and crafts in a timely manner because this stuff dries up. Who would have thought? So, okay, y'all keep doing your arts and crafts. I'm going to tell this story in a reasonable amount of time. I got time today. So, anyway. So she's like pushing flower pots out the way. She's like, y'all ain't got it clean. Y'all ain't got it right. What the hell? And so, she is again displaying her OCD because she got a lot of OCD going on here. So suddenly the doorbell rings. It's her boyfriend, Greg, the lawyer. Now, let me tell you something. 'Cause we're gonna get to like one of my favorite parts. It's my favorite part. Greg is cool, calm, collected, honey. He's chilling. He's as cold as that ice she put on her face. He's that dude. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer and he works for a major studio, so he ain't got no problems. He ain't got nothing to worry about. Joan Crawford is his girlfriend. He ain't got nothing to worry about. So his energy, his demeanor says that. And so, she's a nutty clean freak, and she's like, gonna take them shoes off, honey, don't play. And then it gets this weird line of I'll take care of the socks or whatever. I don't know what that means. I've never said that to anybody. But then they gets to hunching, they gets to hunching. And so they go somewhere. Oh, I think they go to some charity event or something. I think they were giving gifts to some kids or something. And she sees this little girl and she's like, "Oh my god, that is a beautiful little girl. I need a little girl. I want one." So her and Greg are walking on the beach later on down the day, and or maybe a different day, I don't know. And she's like, "Greg, I want to be a mom." Now, again, Greg is very on pace. Like, if you say that nowadays, men will run. And I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men, because stuff is expensive nowadays. It's hard out here. So a lot of men will, or they just not, they gonna ghost you. They're not calling you back because it's expensive. A lot of people don't want kids nowadays because it's really expensive. Like, it's hard enough affording yourself, much less a child. So he's looking at her like, "Well, girl, what time?" He didn't really say he didn't want a child, but I guess he knew she couldn't have kids. I don't know, but some kind of way she threw up in there, "I can't have kids." And he was like, "Well, how you gonna get a child, John, honey?" And she was like, "Adopt." And he was like, "Girl, you crazy." Now you can tell Greg ain't taking her too serious, because let me tell you something I noticed up in here. She wanted to adopt a child. Greg is telling her all the ways she won't be able to, one of which he could help her out with. So let me help you. Let me get you there. So he's like, "Well, you are twice divorced," which he can't help her with that. It is what it is. That's public record. He says, "And you're unmarried." Now, Greg could have married her. I think if he had married her, they would have gave her a child, but whatever. So she was like, "So they gonna deny a kid a lovely, wonderful home," which it was not. Not from this movie, not from the book. It was not, according to Christina. No, no, no. But she was like, "You gonna deny a child a wonderful opportunity because I've been divorced twice and you won't marry me?" She didn't say that. But and because I'm not married, you won't marry me, Greg. Because currently they're together. Boyfriend, girlfriend, everyone knows it. So Joan, of course, goes and tries to, see if she can adopt a child. And they're like, "Ma'am, no." And the very things Greg had told her were the reason why it was no. It was a no for the nursery. It was a no for the orphanage. It was a no. Simon Cowell said it was a no for Simon Cowell. And it was a no from Randy. And it was a no for the orphanage too. And Paula Abdul. It was a no. So, all of a sudden she ended up with kids. Now, let's dip over to my nerder inside research. Christina said Greg had pulled some illegal strings to get her and her brother Christopher, because there's a little boy that got adopted too, but we'll get to that. She said they did some illegal things to adopt them. I don't know nothing about it. Y'all can do some research. Comment section is down there if you want to share. But yeah, she said it was illegal means. There's always a black market somewhere, right? So she ends up with a little girl, and she hold that baby up. Well, she don't hold it up exactly like Circle of Life, but she definitely is like, oh my God. She walks up the stairs, honey, of her big old staircase thing, and she's just holding that baby. So I gotta puff up my shoulder pads because Joan Crawford was the queen of some shoulder pads. And this is the closest dress I have that has like some kind of shoulder pads. I need pads in there though. Like I needed to come here because Joan Crawford had like angles, baby. We need to bring back shoulder pads for girls because, honey, football players have them, but the girls need them too because Jones Crawford's like, she was killing it. So, anyway, so she ends up with a child and she takes the child up the stairs, honey, in her ballroom gown. She's fierce and fabulous. I don't have one of those either. Most people don't. And she holding that baby up like circle is the circle of life. And she's happy to have a baby. And I don't know if Joan Crawford knew this or not, but babies grow up. They grow up, they become little rascals, honey. So Christina grow up. And at some point, Christopher come. At her birthday party, because she grow up and she become like a little girl. And you can see this is where you start to see the cracks, in the surface. This is where she started showing cracks. So I guess everything was cool when she was a baby and a toddler. And there are people like that only like babies, toddlers, but they'll keep having kids, and it's like, no. Like, it's funny, sidebar, because we do this. I think it was Queen Victoria. She had like 12 children, maybe more. And let me look. I want to say Queen Victoria it was a lot of kids. And she famously in her diary put, I don't even like kids. I just like being pregnant. Like, girl, yes. Be honest with yourself. It's like, she likes what she likes. Okay. Like, so I think Joan Crawford liked I think she liked babies. Okay, y'all. This is a quick video. I gotta go. Bye.